2 steps forward and 3 steps back. What's that all about? And how can we avoid that frustrating cycle? Hi, I'm Gina with Hope and Cope. Here we talk about the essential skills we need to have our best life in spite of painful and sometimes even tragic events and situations. Addiction can sucker punch us out of the blue, but today I'm going to talk about what we do to sabotage ourselves. Sadly, when we live with the insanity of someone else's addiction, we have so many hurdles to overcome. We start our day not even knowing if the person is making good choices and if the chaos in their life is going to spill over into our lives. Maybe there's a certain amount of chaos that we know we have to deal with every day, and those struggles are real and they're just about all we can bear. But if you're like me, you know that there are times that we make more chaos for ourselves. In my situation, it was those times when I had even the tiniest hint that Rob was using. Oh my goodness, I would go looking around the house for his stash. I'd look in the car, look under the bed, I'd look in the side of his chair. Most of this was before Al-Anon. So Al-Anon taught me how to focus on myself. Al-Anon taught me how to try to take my focus off of that person and what they're doing and put it on more positive things. But that was how I self-sabotaged. And when we start to focus too much on that other individual, we will end up spiraling and going downhill. Some of the things we do when that's the case is we'll actually get in the car, we'll follow them, we'll call their friends, we'll call their work. We're trying to find out where they are, what they're doing, who knows the latest, who has heard what they did last night, and we will just spiral, and we're self-sabotaging. We're setting ourselves back. Knowing all that information is probably not going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. Sometimes we want to know things that are actually harmful to ourselves and not helpful. So ask yourself, what is best for you and what is best for your family? Knowing all the sordid details of our family's lifestyle and the things they're doing is probably not what's best for you. So it's hard. I know it's hard to let consequences happen, but it may be the quickest way as a family member, maybe the quickest way that we can help a resolution to come for our loved one. So honestly, stopping your sick loved one from hitting their bottom is probably not the best choice. I don't know if we all, I know I and most of the people I ever spoke to, they try that, but we're really just prolonging the addiction in their life, which ends up hurting them in the long run. So when we do things like lie to their boss, maybe they lose their job and then we beg for their job back. We cover for all their accidents. We pay their tickets, pay to get them out of jail. All of this only gives them the sense that things are under control. Things are fine. Things worked out smashingly, didn't they? There's no real consequences. And until they feel like they are out of options, they won't seek for help. They won't even think that there's a need for help. And as I have stated in other videos, most of the time this has been what I've experienced, that people with addiction do not think that that thing they're addicted to is the problem. In fact, they think that thing that they're addicted to is the solution. They think they cannot live without it, much less that it's harming them in any way. And they're convinced of it. You can't change their mind about that. So we have to step out of the way, let natural consequences occur so they will begin to feel like, no, maybe life is out of control. Maybe I do need to look for a better option. So I'm not saying that hitting bottom and finding a recovery program is the solution, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So until their minds get some clarity, it's hard for them to think rationally, or probably they can't think rationally, short of some kind of miracle. And trust me, the morning after they used and they seem sober, trust me, that is not sober enough. They are in no way still clear-minded enough to be objective and to make a good decision about their future choices. At least this has been my experience. So we have to lay our precious loved ones in the loving arms of God, and we need to allow them to make their own choices. We need to allow them to face their own consequences. So not being realistic about their condition and what you can expect is just sabotaging yourself. We set ourselves up for disappointment. So let me give an example. When I was new in Al-Anon, so it was big before I went to Al-Anon, and then I addressed it early on with my sponsor, that certain days of the year would really be hard on me. So birthdays and anniversaries and other special events, I would have expectations, and Rob just couldn't fulfill them. Even the smallest expectations, I would be let down on my birthday or our children's birthday or holidays and our anniversary. That was always a real tough one. So Al-Anon taught me that I could just let a day be like any other day. My birthday could just be a Tuesday. My anniversary could just be a Thursday. It didn't have to make me fall apart. It didn't have to make me set up for disappointment. And when I did that, I was sabotaging myself because I had unrealistic expectations of what he could accomplish. And so I have an example for you. One time early on, I think I was in Al-Anon by this time, but I had much to learn. I will put it to you that way. It was Thanksgiving, and I was hosting Thanksgiving at my house. So Rob had been asleep. Honestly, he had been in the bed for days. That should have been my first clue, but I was so busy with all the preparation for Thanksgiving and the cooking and the shopping and that. So like for 2 days, I was just so busy, and I had all of our family coming over, and it was 30 minutes or so before it was time for them to be there. And I went in the bedroom and I said, honey, it's time to get up. Family will be here in a little bit. And I don't know if maybe he'd been asleep for a couple of hours and there was some, his toxicity was low. I don't know. But he got up and got dressed and he came out into the living room. But I think probably he used right before he came out there, took a big heavy swig or something. I don't know, because he ended up passing out in his chair and being like passed out drunk in his chair. I mean, it was just clearly obvious. And I asked him to go to his room and he couldn't do it. And so I asked 2 family members of mine, 2 big, strong men, to help him to his room, and he couldn't, even with their aid, and he ended up falling in the living room floor. And it was a kind of a warm November, and a lot of people just moved the party to outside, and we just spent a lot of time outside, and my family was very loving and supportive, and they basically just tried to act like it didn't happen. And some people did come up to me and console me and try to say it's okay and we understand. But it was a terrible, terrible time. I set myself up for that. I didn't know it then. I know it now, that with him not having shown his face for 2 or 3 days prior, I should have just let him sleep. I should have just told the family when they get there, either, I think this was early on, maybe I was still really covering for him. Could have said, hey, Rob didn't feel like getting up. Sorry, he's not gonna join us today. Or I could have told my family, if they did know about his addiction, I could have said, Rob's using right now and he's not gonna be able to join us. Whatever. I just should not have expected him to come out and try to make a presentation to the family when there was just no way he was gonna be able to do that. And this was a self-sabotage that was really just open for everybody to see. So it was really heartbreaking for me. It took me a very long time to get over that. But, even when we have those times that are really bad, they do still teach us things. If we will let them, they'll teach us things and we can learn from our mistakes. So my best advice to you is to just do your best to detach with love from a person. I recommend that you try not to go looking for their stash or get too involved in their financial or legal troubles. We don't want to make trouble for them. That's not what I'm encouraging. to sabotage them, call their boss, get them fired, have their car towed. I'm not saying make that trouble, because if we do that sort of thing, then they'll blame us. And they won't blame the addiction. They won't blame the alcohol or the drug or the gambling or whatever the problem behavior is. They will definitely blame us and probably not forgive us ever or for a long time. So we don't want to make the consequences. We just want to stay out of the way and let natural consequences occur. And I know that this is hard, and we can only do so much at a time. It's a growing process. That's why a program of recovery really helps you to gather the strength you need and to detach with love and to learn what you need to learn. And they'll teach you and they'll support you. You will progress at your own pace. Some people are faster than others. Some people catch on faster. Some people it takes more time, but they don't make you do anything. They let you just grow in your program at your own pace. And so I just highly recommend that you go to Al-Anon. I know that we want what's best for our loved ones. We don't want them to have a hard life. We want them to have the recovery and to have a healthy lifestyle. And so in a program of recovery like Al-Anon, you can find the strength that you need. And hopefully, I hope and pray to God that here at this channel, you're also finding hope, finding the help that you need. But having a person, a one-on-one person, when you go to those programs, it's part of their program to help the next person. So you get a sponsor, and that person can help you and talk to you and let you talk to them and mull over how the program says to deal with it and let you work on things at your own pace. So I hope this was helpful. That's just really always my goal, is to help you guys. And if you'd like to stick around, you can find some extra encouragement in the description box, as always. If you like this video, I'd appreciate if you'd hit a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you can think of somebody else that this would be helpful for, I'd appreciate if you'd share it with a friend. Look for new content coming out on Sundays. And I love you. I'm praying for you. And until next time, God bless.